Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Bridging Impact Podcast, the podcast that is passing wisdom to the next generation of athletes, coaches, and parents to transform leaders on and off the court. And I'm your host, Coach Furtado. So this is an edition of Coach's Corner, our Friday edition of the show where I, Coach Furtado, I share what I am learning, what I'm seeing in the youth sports, specifically the youth basketball space. Also, what I feel like needs to be addressed and talked about. And today is a great topic because selfishly, this is something that I need to work on as well, and that is slowing down. And before we talk about slowing down, I got some news to share with you all. And so for those that listen every single week, number one, I appreciate you. But number two, I owe it to you to share some news that we changed our basketball and leadership program from Bridging Impact Basketball to now BTG, Beyond the Game Basketball. And so, with that, right, we are committed to teaching life lessons that transcend beyond the game. And that's something I feel really passionate about. And so it was time for a name change, but it's still the Bridging Impact Podcast. And as you can tell now in your feeds, the podcast cover has changed. It may take a few days to actually notice it. You may be listening on the first Friday that this drops. And so we're always want to optimize and upgrade. There's going to be some more changes probably coming to the podcast soon as well, trying to dial up this experience for you all and provide as much value as I can. And so the Bridging Impact, brand and movement will be supporting a scholarship fund for BTG basketball players who may not be able to afford our service. So we want to make sure that, one of my goals is a personal goal of mine and sharing back. Like I began at Boys and Girls Club of Emerald Valley in Eugene, Oregon. My thing is I just wanted to be a positive role model for anyone who really needed it. And I know that youth sports can be very expensive. I know that we provide a lot of value and we have to pay our bills. So our services can't be free. They're a premium service and I know that. So it is an investment and I recognize that not everyone can make that investment. So just continue to stay in the loop on that and how you can support us. If you are a company or you have a company that would be interested in getting in front of, sports parents and sports coaches, let me know. We have quite a large following on Bridging Impact, our Instagram page, that can be really beneficial for your organization. But hey, that's enough of the update and the breaking news. Let's dive into today's topic. And today's topic is about, like I said, slowing down. And this is my Achilles heel as a leader. I think it's actually like a double-edged sword because I take a lot of action because I'm so impatient. I want things bad. But at the same time, like I can remember back to when I was in third grade and I can remember that we had a cursive activity and I just rushed through the cursive to get to, because like when you were done with activity, you got to go just do something, and it wasn't school. And I was like, oh, I'm going to knock this out. I'm going to get this done. And so that's kind of the person I've always been. When it comes to, let's say, like a podcast album cover or like the new logo, excuse me, I in the past would have chose to, kind of do things as fast as I can, get it out there, right? And I think the other thing that you know, I'm challenged with, especially as someone who's very ambitious and gets things done, in an efficient manner, is, when I work with other people, a lot of other people work at a different pace. And I really do believe in this quote that it's been with me since the Better World Challenge days, depending on how long you've been with us all, is if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And that's something that I'm really trying to work on internally right now. And so, when I had my parents for our special 50th episode, probably a couple months ago, my dad shared something. His number one piece of advice for the parents that were listening was you got to enjoy the moment, right? Because it's going to pass through. It's going to pass that time. And I think there's a lot of times we want to, and I'm included, right? This is for parents and coaches. We want to win so bad, right? Like, let's take this, upcoming season for, I'm a varsity high school assistant at Venice High School for the boys basketball side. And, I can get really caught up in, hey, let's win a Division I championship, like let's go make some noise and state playoffs and really focus right now, which is, a lot of that's going to happen in February. And if we're lucky in March. But right now, I'm in the present moment. I'm in August, and a lot of my focus, because I'm the head coach for the freshman and sophomore team, I also have building out some programming here for elementary and middle school students, in addition to the high school students. I want to focus on the athletes that I get to work with in the present moment, because that's a privilege, and recognizing that, and recognizing where our athletes are, and not wanting them to rush, because when we rush, we miss that time. We're not present. We don't slow down. And this kind of idea sparked from a conversation I had yesterday with a woman on our podcast in an episode that's going to come out in a couple of weeks, who, she's amazing. She's a mother. She's an entrepreneur. She's in the sports space. So a lot of what she was talking about really resonated with me. And I really appreciated her insights, because, you know, as 25-year-old, I'll even share a little bit more about, what I got going on, and how I'm rushing currently. So I really want to get into a gym, because basketball is played in a gym, but unfortunately, because there is so much demand for a gym and there's not enough supply of gyms here in West Los Angeles, where I am, especially towards the beach, rent rates are very high, and I don't have the certain numbers to make that happen, unless I wanted to pass that price on to my athletes, and I don't think that's fair. So I'm going to be running our program out of basically a basketball court that I have access to. It's outside, but it's going to be instrumental, and it's not about skipping steps. I have a great mentor, and also a colleague of mine who's coming in, and we're partnering together to do BTG basketball. And he has a little bit more experience in the basketball space. He's like, dude, like, you got a great thing going on with this access to this court here. I would really recommend, like, let's keep our costs low and just go here while we build out and have the numbers to eventually get into a gym. And so that's like kind of the business side of slowing things down, but also just talking about like kind of the emotional side of slowing things down, with thinking about, let's say, I have a lot of athletes that are gonna probably play for me on the freshman sophomore team. Well, like, as a parent, we may have these aspirations of our athlete, going and playing on varsity, but let's just be in the moment. Let's enjoy our early 3 o'clock games, for the freshman sophomore team, and have fun with this season, and have fun with, the club season. Maybe they're 10 years old, and maybe they're on a team that's losing a lot. Well, that's character building. That's an opportunity for you to teach. You can't skip through that. You can't skip steps. It kind of goes back to my conversation and podcast last week, where I talked about, long-term development and just being patient, right? But I'm not necessarily talking about the development piece this week. I'm just talking about, like, actually enjoying the moment and the privilege and opportunity that it is. Number one, for me to coach, but also for our athletes to get to play sports. There are a lot of athletes all over the world who would kill to play sports, who would kill to, be able to go and travel, and, go play against other teams that are from, different states, and get the opportunity to go to camps where you're meeting people from all over the world. Like, that is an actual privilege. And so recognizing that and cherishing these moments, because at the end of the day, like, we all hang up our shoes, right? Like, last night I got the opportunity to play. I'm in a basketball league, but it's never the same as when we get to play on teams. And my parents will tell you time and time again, like, that's one of their favorite moments, and that's one of our connectors all as a family. Was that was my life for 18 or 15 years, whatever, 3 to 18, whatever it was supporting me and all these traveling and families. And I know it was fun for them to connect with other parents. So it's really important to just slow down, enjoy the moment, enjoy where your athletes are at, whether you're a coach or a parent, because we don't get this time back. So if you got something out of this episode, please share it with a friend. Send this reminder. Whether you share this episode or not, just remind your peers that it's okay to slow down. It's okay to enjoy the moment. We don't have to be in a rush, right, to our next destination. The journey is the destination. All this cheesy, corny stuff that's true. It rings true. It's through every theme, every industry. And I really appreciate you all taking the time out of your day to listen to this episode. If you want to leave us a review on Apple Reviews, that's huge. That really helps us grow. And also make sure that you're subscribed to us wherever you listen to podcasts, so you don't miss an episode. Next Wednesday's episode is going to be a good one, like they are every week. And so we drop interview episodes every Wednesday, in Coach's Corner, where I share what I'm learning every Friday. Again, appreciate you all, and have a wonderful day or evening. Coach Furtado out. Peace.